I try not to worry too much about, what the defense gonna do.
Whether I run a 5-yard or 25-yard, I make it, like it's my last carry.
It's Sunday, and, God is good, and, I just try to go out there and make plays. I'm just thankful that I have this opportunity.
I coached him for 4 years, and getting to know him, as mentally tough a guy as there was, as physically tough a guy as there was, his versatility. I just think he was a rare guy.
As a player, he was a guy that you could always count on. He was a team guy. I mean, he was a great teammate, and he did that in college.
We all knew he was a hard-nosed runner, downhill runner, physical runner. That means he gonna get the yards, and so I just knew anybody he was gonna go with, he was gonna be a dog.
Trying to tackle him by the hair, they can't do it.
He was so tough. The way he finished runs, he was a violent runner, he was physical. He was the type of guy that Parcells really wanted to play with.
Did you give him a little attaboy? A little handshake, a little pat to the helmet.
Now he has his bruiser. Bill gave him that name for a reason. That style of running that he had was very, very different.
Barber coming right, the leg still churned.
That was his style. A guy who would run through, run by, run over. Marion was looking for that next guy to run over and maybe get another yard or two.
Me and Brady James, we talk about, man, boy, we gotta go out here and hit Barber for 2 hours.
That's just kind of how his spirit was of never quit, never give up.
Here's a handoff to Barber.
Ran hard, he was detailed, he communicated.
Screen right to Barber.
So for me, that was everything because now I understood what it took to be a pro.
When the helmet is strapped on, he ran with a purpose, and he always talks about wanting to literally run through people. Off the field, he is not like that, right? Very, gentle and a very nice person.
He played the piano. It was his way of relaxing. But yeah, he just loved because it freed him.
Of course, we all understand and knew his running style. Off the field, you got a chance to see who he truly was. You got to see his heart. You got to see the human side of the beast that was running the football.
And that's what it was. Gentle Giant helped everyone, and did a lot of things off the field.
I'm Marion Barber.
Keeps everybody in order.
Almost always when he'd come to visit us, he'd bring us an ice cream cake.
Also, like when I was a little kid, whenever I'd say his name, he'd call.
He was a superhero to me, and just like that, he's gone.
I would say for me that would be probably the biggest regret I would have in my life, that my son didn't know how much he was truly
In 1977, number 41, Marion Barber, a 17-year-old, 6'2", 200-pound phenom. Barber matured gracefully into the Minnesota offense. Swift, agile, and durable, Barber ran with a panache uncommon to his youth.
Yep, so I went off to Minnesota, 1977. She came up a couple years later. We wanted to have our own roots, but that's where we started our family. I got drafted to New York in '81, I believe. But we decided then that whether I made the team or not, Minnesota was going to be our home. We said Marion was a strike baby, because that was the first of 2 strikes I was involved in.
He was big. All our kids were big, and they wanted to move him. He was 3rd grade. They wanted him to play with 5th and 6th grade. I said, heck no, because they're smarter and bigger. Even though Marion was good, they had 2-3 years ahead of him on the game.
As a kid, he just wanted to be active with his buddies. I don't know when that changed, when he was more to himself, but I do know he just loved people and his friends, right? And so we definitely always, again, tried to be outside doing something, and that's kind of what we did. High school, you know, I think he kind of figured out that he was pretty good at what he did.
I always told him it's going to be the work that's going to get you to whatever you want to do. It's going to be the work that you put in that's going to get you there. He believed that. That drove him.
Marion played at Wayzata High School, which is my school district. And this area is heavily recruited, and really no one was recruiting at Marion.
Junior year in high school, had a good year. Senior year, he had a really good year, but again, he only had one offer. It was Minnesota.
I was at the University of Illinois when his dad was getting recruited out of Detroit, so I knew the name and I knew his dad played for Minnesota. So one day late in recruiting, I brought up to our staff, full staff meeting, I said, tell me about this Barber kid. And I'd like to play devil's advocate with my coaches. So I said, geez, I said, maybe we ought to recruit him as a defensive back. And everybody said, a defensive back? What are you talking about? I said, well, they're playing against Cretin-Durham. Joe Mauer, who's now a baseball Hall of Famer, was the quarterback. He had never been intercepted all year long. And Marion Barber intercepted him. So I said, maybe we ought to recruit him as a defensive back. So the first time I met him, Mom, Dad, and Marion didn't say a word. He just sat and he just stared at me. And I made it clear to him, I'm going to try to recruit you, but as a defensive back. And didn't take the scholarship. Sure enough, we had two guys commit at defensive back, so then I had to call him up and say, we're out of scholarship, and he said, I understand that. Ran into his dad maybe a week later, and I said, what's going on with Marion? He said, he doesn't have anything going, he'll probably walk on for you guys. So I went back and I said, you know, we're going to take another defensive back. We're going to take Marion Barber if you'll take it. So I called him up that night, and I think he had learned his lessons. He says, I'm coming, coach.
They always wanted to be Gophers too. Right? I mean, it wasn't. He said when he was a little fella, I'm going to Minnesota to break all Dad's records. I'm going. He called me one day and he said, Dad, I really want to try to play running back. And so I just said, dude, you just gotta just ask the coach. Just say, hey, can I try? If I do it, I do it. If I don't, at least you gave me the opportunity.
He made an appointment to see me, and he came in, and if you know Marion, very shy, doesn't say very much. And he said, Coach, I have a favor. He said, I know you don't think I can play running back. He said, my favor is just give me a chance, 1 year. And if you don't think I can play running back, then I'll go play defensive back. I'll be the best defensive back I can be. And I said, well, sure. And I thought, well, why not? He's not going to play as a freshman anyway. After the first practice, Vic Adelman, my running back coach, came to me and said, we were wrong. This kid can play. This kid's good. There's a lot of people, including part of our staff, including me, that doubted that he was really a bona fide Big Ten player, let alone a star. I really don't think Marion ever doubted that.
After his freshman year in college, then it really started, you know, coming out of who this guy is, Big Ten, and he can go to the next level. And again, nothing that he probably would ever tell us, but you could see that, you know, he had a mission that he could change, you know, his family's life if things worked out.
I was at practice and I was watching practice and I'm sitting on the sideline full of myself, knowing I'm their top recruit. And boom, the door just bust open. And all you see is this shadow of this big shadow just walking in so slow and calm. And I'm like, who is Buddy, right? And so we looked at each other and it was just one of those, we didn't speak. He didn't say nothing, I didn't say nothing. I went for the break character. I feel like he was sizing me up, and it was just like two pit bulls. He went on about his business, and I stood on the sideline and finished watching practice.
I remember the Michigan game. Everyone talks about it, but that's truly my earliest memory of being at the Dome.
crowd going crazy. I remember him dominating that game early on.
Breaks a tackle at the 15. 10 goes wide. Field goal in the end zone.
One of the best ones for me was Michigan. And I remember that game, Michigan, our team never even rushed for 200 plus yards on us, and we rushed for 400 yards on Michigan. You know, to actually see greatness in front of you, it was different. You know, I was full of myself, but it was like I had to give respect when respect was due. It's like, man, this guy's amazing. He's something different. And so, like I say, once I moved up to second on the depth chart, and we got to putting 100-yard games back to back to back to back to back to back to back and to back again. I think it was just we was locked in from there.
And you know, a lot of people viewed it, they were competing for the same position. They didn't view it that way. So the first play out there, it'd be, I'd look over there and he'd say, you take it. No, you take it. No, you take it. You take it. And I'd say, would you make up your mind? And then I'd be asked by the media all the time, well, who's on the start side? I said, don't ask me, ask them.
After we started bonding, really, and started playing and seeing how great we worked together, it was just like, it wasn't nothing that we couldn't do. It's like everything we did do pertaining to football, we did it together.
So one night after practice, you know, I get in my car and I stop at the light down University Boulevard on a moped, flying right through the light, okay? No helmet, no safety glasses, is Lawrence Mooney driving and Marion Barber on the back. And I mean this, I didn't know what to do.
We was borrowing somebody's moped, right? And I don't know for the life of me how I became the driver. I'm the little brother at this time, and Marion's on the back, and I remember we was coming through campus. And as we go through, it's like we see this truck at the light, and we can't really see it until we get side by side with it, and all we looked, and we seen Mason, and his face was just red. You know, he said something about it, but it's like, listen, this is a big campus. We not trying to walk everywhere.
Yeah, you know, we played Alabama in the bowl game, and Alabama had a great run defense. They really did. On the first play of the game, not a great hit, nothing, he just fumbles the ball. And what I remember about that, I'm standing on the sideline, and Marion's running right toward me, you know, which took a little guts because I really didn't like guys that fumbled the ball, you know. And before I could say anything, Marion says, don't worry, Coach, I got this. And then he went on, and at the end of the game, he's the MVP. That's when he became a viable quantity of maybe coming out early. I never heard anybody talking about that.
And like I say, I knew he was leaving after that game before he knew he was leaving, because it's like the performance he put in and the way he was running, it's like, what would be the point of staying?
In many ways, it's the first game to be played in the NFL since February, and boy, are people ready.
Yeah, so draft day from what I remember, so there was a lot of disappointment or hurt because he didn't make it. I think then it was only 2 days. So the final pick in the third round was Maurice Clarett, running back, Ohio State. He went to Denver, and you know, Marion felt, you know, that's where he thought he was going to end up, right? And I know after he wasn't drafted that day, he went off and had his moment by himself.
That was the first time I actually saw an emotion of disappointment.
He was in our bedroom with his Bible. We were all downstairs, and he was up there by himself with his Bible.
I was sitting in my office, and the secretary says that Coach Bill Parcells from the Cowboys is on the phone. He said, I got a quick question to ask you. He said, I'm looking to take a guy. I'm looking to take a guy that, you know, can play 8 to 10 scrimmage snaps a game, would be a good special teams player, is really tough, and is a good kid. Is Marion Barber that kid? And I said, without a doubt. He said, thanks a lot, and he hung up. And a couple minutes later, someone walked in and said, Dallas Cowboys just took Marion Barber.
Working our way through the 4th round, the Dallas Cowboys just made their pick.
They have a good start. When you get a Marcus Spears and DeMarcus Ware and then a Kevin Burnett, they assisted the defense yesterday. Today, offense, running back, wide receiver, 2 areas of concern. They want to get some depth at running back behind Julius Jones. And when you look at Marion Barber III coming into the fold,
When you watched him play at Minnesota, he was so tough. The way he finished runs, he was a violent runner. He was physical. He was tough. He was willing to block. He did whatever he had to do, but he was the type of guy that Parcells really wanted to bring that type of toughness to the room, and Marion Barber was that and even more.
Dallas really got a steal because they really got a first-round talent in the 4th round.
How you doing, Chuck? Had really good production, efficient in the way he runs, has a willing blocker, has good courage, and has a reputation for really being a hard worker. But he really was a preferred back with some pretty good backs on that board.
I think now we have a good situation here. I think we got 3 kids that I'll put in the game, and I think they can all carry the ball, and I think you better get used to that around here.
Marion came in during the Bill Parcells days, so it's extremely rough. No one on the team was guaranteed anything, trust me. But Marion kept doing the right things. He was behind Julius. He took his chances and opportunities to get on the field, and when he did, he made very few mistakes.
Bledsoe handoff, Barber at left end. Second level, ran over a guy at the 10. 25, 30, breaking away Julius.
Marion and Julius Jones, you talk about fire and ice, Julius was the speed guy. Marion was the, was the physical back, and they certainly, during that time created a great 1-2 punch that was great for the Cowboys because Julius, he was fast, sleek, and a small back, and Marion was the battering ram.
Barber turns it up to the goal line, touchdown Cowboys.
It wasn't a competition to him. It was more so, I'm here to support, Julius any way I can and give him a blow or whatever that may be. He was really good at pass protection.
And Bledsoe back to throw, pretty good protection.
He didn't care if he got the ball or not. He just wanted to help the team and support his team.
I don't think we expected him to be as powerful as he was. I mean, I saw him, running at the University of Minnesota, but I don't think I saw him in person, how powerful he was going to actually be.
Yeah, I've always been a physical guy, not scared of contact, and, that's my job. I've always been that way, and, Coach Lynn says, break the tackle. You're going to make a play and no more college cuts. So I just try to go and attack the secondary as much as possible.
And he was selfless. Whatever role, we gave him in a given week, in a season, he embraced the heck out of it and was one of those guys you absolutely loved to coach.
Everything that came out of his mouth was something from the Bible, something that could inspire you to, attack the next day.
Barber would have his headphones on before a game. This was like before, headphones were really big. He had these big, huge headphones, and he would listen to Kirk Franklin and Donnie McClurkin before the game. I mean, just blasting as loud as you could get it. And you would think, how could this guy run like this and listen to gospel music?
First and goal, handoff Barber. Barber breaks a tackle. He's still going to the pylon. Barber got another touchdown.
For us, before the football game, we always wanted to make sure that we was calm. You never wanted to be too excited before the game, and gospel music a lot of times have a chance to sink you back and to be thankful, to give thanks, to give gratitude for you having an opportunity to play the game of football.
And he's singing it while we're getting ready for the game, and I'm thinking to myself, it works for him.
Coming right, gets the block to the goal line, touchdown!
I guess he was asking for forgiveness for his defenders. Probably locked in and saying, Lord, thank you for this gift. But what I'm about to do to these people that try to tackle me is going to be bad business.
Off left to Barber. He is jammed up. He escapes to the left, a lot of room.
You just saw the style of play, and I remember the big topic back then was, why is he not starting over Julius Jones? Because his production was better than what Julius was doing, but Julius was the guy that started the games. Marion was a guy that I think other defenses were afraid to go against because of how he ran. They didn't want to tackle him.
Goal line, banging off a man. How does he do it?
What happens to Marion Barber when he hits that football field? I'm just thankful when I'm out there, man. I just let everything go, and God's given me this ability, and I'm just trying to show him that I am obedient and I'm thankful.
Did y'all ever see your uncle play football?
No. Well, yeah.
Highlights?
Videos.
Videos. Does anything stand out whenever y'all watch the videos?
Well, there's this one play that I really love. Oh, yeah, the greatest 2-yard run of all time.
Back here in Dallas. Hello, friends. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms. This is going to be special.
I remember leading up to the game when we was looking at the scouting report and they was going over Marion and they was like, and they just talking like they just finna dominate him. And I'm like, nah, dude, run hard. Barber, I'm steady trying to let him know without letting him know. I'm like, hey, don't take him lightly. Like, he run hard.
To the end zone, touchdown. Lead going back and forth in this quarter. Now it's the Cowboys who trail. Romo fakes to Barber and then throws it wide of Witten, but it's a holding call against Dallas.
You know, when you play and you coach for a long time, there are a handful of plays that stand out to you, and that's one of them.
And they run it. Barber better be careful.
What was it, 7 guys that had their hands on him at some point? The ultimate no, 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 yes, yes, yes kind of play. And
Marion runs back into the end zone, and we're thinking this is going to be the most disastrous play ever.
I see him in the end zone. I'm like, ooh, Marion, get out of there. Ooh, Marion, break the tackle.
Give it up, Marion, look out.
And I'm like, then he reverse field. I'm like, Marion, you don't even got that type of speed.
Out. Oh, he's in the end zone. He's still running around. He's running right to left. Get out of the end zone.
We basically were like, what the hell is he doing?
The guys chasing him are Hall of Fame players. And it's Rodney Harrison, it's Junior Seau, there's Vrabel, there's Wilfork, all these guys that are the best at their position in the NFL. And Marion kind of hits it in there. He should go down once. He comes out of it. He should go down again. He runs over here. He captures the corner and finally makes 2 yards. And to me, you know, a lot of people talk about this with him, but it symbolizes who he was as a player.
Now look, wrap this guy up. Okay, this guy's a strong runner. All right, wrap him up.
But if you have to ask somebody what's Marion Barber's highlight, it's probably that play.
So he'll tell you he should have broke it, right? He should have taken it to the house. I always agreed with him. Yeah, you should have broke it. He should have broke it. But he did not like losing yards at all.
Well, they're going to give it to Barber, and he fights his way forward to the 23.
But he just showed you his relentlessness, his relentless spirit, how tough he was to bring down. But that's just who he was, and so he became a fan favorite.
Barber caught it, and he's still going.
You know, that has a lot to do with just my attitude. You know, I just come in the games. Any chance I get, I want to make a play. And, you know, whenever they call my name, I'm just ready.
He came into the huddle and he said, I refuse to let one person ever tackle me.
Barber rumbling and bumbling.
I need to see it, MB. I need to see it.
Every day he approached practice, he approached it in that way. The 2007 year, probably one of the strangest years I've ever been a part of. But you're looking at a guy who is scoring all these touchdowns as a backup.
Banging off a man, touchdown, MB3.
And we're watching him game by game progress and do more and more. So you can only do nothing, just be excited.
Welcome to Detroit, Michigan. It's in our matchup for you today. The 11-1 Dallas Cowboys, the 6-6 Detroit Lions. But Dallas has only achieved one of its goals so far, which is to make the playoffs. If they win today, they win the East.
You know, the Lions back then, they played a lot of what we call Tampa 2. And so the guy who gets the ball a lot in that game is the tight end. I think Witten caught 14 or 15 passes.
Checks it down to Witten at the 41. Throws it right, Witten open at the 50. Snap on first down. Romo a lot of time over the middle. Witten, oh, what a catch.
The other guy who gets the ball is the back, because they're rolling the coverage outside, and the outside receivers will get limited opportunities in the passing game. And I can just remember Romo looking over here, throw it to 24.
Flips it over the middle to Barber on a check down. Fourth down, throws it left, Barber.
Throw it to 24, time and time again.
Pumps, throws left, Barber, 15.
In that game, we got down and close. We knew who it handed to.
Toss right, Barber with Colombo and Hoyt pulling. Barber breaks into the secondary first down, turns the corner, strolls the sideline, walks the dog.
We had a protection where we're sliding to our right, MB's going to his left. And whatever they worked out, MB faked as if he was going to block the end, ran past him, and Tony Romo just threw him a lob for the touchdown. But that was an adjustment that they made we didn't even know about.
Gives it to Barber. at right tackle. 25, breaks one, churning.
Big time. We come back to that's still the division there. Typical Marion fashion.
Looking over the middle, pumps, dumps it to Barber at the 5, takes on 2 defenders.
I don't think, like I said, that was about the year he started to become a little bit more vocal.
And be kind of figured out, like, you know what, if I'm chipping or if I'm doing something, if I can get myself in the vision of the quarterback at the last second, he can throw the ball to me, dump it down.
So his kind of want to kind of help propel us to get us over that lull in the offense we were having during that game.
And they're going to give it a Barber up the middle, and he walks it in. His 3rd touchdown of the day.
And in that game, they were giving him Witten, and they were giving him Barber, and Barber was taking it and had really great catches out of the backfield, and that's what carried them to that win and that division title.
Hey, it takes a team. Yeah. That's what it takes, and it takes belief. We have those 2 things, and now we have. All right, we got it.
We're having a great year in 2007, and he's such a huge part of it, always putting the team first. And it was a great example. And then I think that's what gave us confidence to go ahead and draft a guy in the 1st round the next year.
300 million visitors from around the world have entered the legendary doors of Radio City Music Hall, and it's time for the National Football League Draft in 2008.
Going into that 2008 draft, Barber was the only running back on the roster, and he was about to get a big contract. I think everyone knew that, but still, especially at that position, you have to have depth. And it was a good draft class. It was very top-heavy. You had a lot of really good players in there, but even in the middle rounds as well.
One guy's an every down back. The other guy's a special complimentary back, and we got to remember that we have an every down back, Marion Barber here.
I mean, I think this is a decision that we're going to extend, re-sign Barber. Let's go, Jones. Let's go.
With the 22nd pick in the 2008 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Felix Jones.
Good pick. There we go.
There we go. Hey, yes, sir. Later rounds, that's like the 4th round, that's where Tashard Choice was there. And I think the Cowboys looked at that and said, well, Barber was a 4th round pick, and we've developed him, and they thought they could do the same with Tashard.
Maybe a starter.
Troy knows what to do. Barber was a 4th round pick, Gannon was a 4th round pick. Choice is a good football player.
Right. So this is Jerry Jones with the Cowboys, and we're getting ready to draft you with the Cowboys.
So when you take a guy like Marion and kind of make him the senior guy in the room, it shows that the coaching staff trusts him both as a player and as a person. They're not going to bring 2 rookies in who they hope are going to contribute and play and put them in the charge of someone that they don't trust and respect.
In the running back room, it was really cool for me because the dude was a selfless guy. No matter what the competition was, he'll help you out. He knew we could play football, so when he saw us, he's like, man, you got game. And so he was always giving us confidence early on.
I also think that's just his nature, because when he became the guy and they draft 2 running backs, he immediately took those 2 under his wing.
I think the impact that he had on those guys and their ability to transition so quickly and play so well early on had a lot to do with Marion Barber.
That first year, seeing him
diving for the 1st down, Barber.
See how he worked. I'm gonna tell y'all this: the power of example matters more than the example of power. Even though he was the guy in front of everybody, he was the most humble, the most selfless guy you will see in the locker room. He was one of my best teammates I've ever had.
Yo, on next. Good run, boy.
Okay, look, it's one play when we were playing the Arizona Cardinals.
We're battling. That's one of those games where it's going back and forth, and we're trying to find something that's going to give us a spark, and we're trying to fight back.
Romo going to Barber.
And MB gets a pass into the flat.
And you throw the ball out to MB, and he takes off.
35, trying to come left.
We literally thought he was just going to get out of bounds because we were like trying to save clock. Okay, we got to get close, whatever. And he winds up breaking a couple tackles.
35, first down, Barber down the sideline, Barber broke a tackle. And he's kind of dancing on the sidelines and staying in, and Barber made a man miss at the 10.
Lo and behold, he breaks a tackle and it's now a 70-yard touchdown.
Dives, touchdown. You know, it's one of those things when you're on the sidelines, it's like everybody starts chasing after him.
I think you can see us chasing him from behind, just getting excited about it.
I just remember how electric the sideline was. To see him break all those tackles, to see him not want to go down, that was MB3.
You know, it's funny, the first thing that Marion ever said to me, he walks up to me and he goes, "What's up, Dread?" Talking about my hair. And he goes, "I got somebody to twist you up when we get back." So here I am, not knowing anybody, not knowing how I'm going to be received, and you have, at that time, one of the star players on the team walk up to you, and he's just like, "When we get back to Dallas, though, I got somebody that's going to be able to twist your hair." So I was like, all right, cool. That's a pretty good connection to have. It was small, but it was the first thing that you learn about Marion Barber. You learn his heart.
That's just the type of guy he is. That's his character. He's always a giving person. He's quiet but giving. He'll give the person the shirt off his back.
You know, I'm just trying to give back, bringing in a lot of guys to just kind of help these kids out and show them certain things that, you know, they can take in the long run, you know, not just talking about pure ball, but just living life. What's going on, man? Where the hustle at? You ain't no hustling? Come on, you supposed to be playing defense.
That's his passion. That's what he want to do. He want to see everybody win. He want the world to be better.
Turf, and I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart,
That's him, plain and simple. It goes to a testament, if you've ever met his mom and his dad, and both his brothers, it's a testament to how he was raised and how he feels about people.
He gave over $1 million to inner cities in Dallas and Minneapolis, computers to schools and printers. He was a very giving guy, so what he would do outside of that is to give.
Yeah, he was a genuine, caregiver. I used to always say this. I grew up basically with 3 fathers, being so young, Dom being 11 years, older than me, Marion being 14. He was a true, another father figure to be around.
Marion was a guy you could always lean on the field, off the field, and, what better example than a game in 2008 against Washington.
Our nation's capital on this chilly mid-November night and 12 miles from the center of Washington is FedEx Field. Washington face the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football.
The Cowboys had missed Romo for 3 straight games, and they'd only won one of them. And Tony wasn't really 100%, but they had to have him back. And so they knew that he was going to give it a go and try to throw the ball as best he could.
3rd and 3 shotgun. Romo looking that way, pumps and throws on a slant, and the ball's intercepted at the
Romo, and that's dropped by Owens, a fluttering pass.
And it was really bothering him. Couldn't really throw the ball as accurate as he wanted to. And MB was like, hey, if I got my offensive line blocking, you can lean on me.
And we talk about Marion Barber being better in the 4th quarter than he is in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd. And this is the time that you use him. This is the time that you need him if you're the Cowboys.
And they will draw to Barber, coming right. He's getting some yards.
Barber again.
1st and 10, and they'll give it to Barber, coming left, cuts back right, bounces it back outside to the left.
Yeah, as a receiver, you hate it, but it's like it's gonna win us games. So we're all for it, and it's, like you said, it's Washington. I hate Washington.
Barber again, sliding in the middle, broke a tackle.
He may be the best finisher as a running back in the NFL.
Toss it to him. Barber.
It's extremely tiring, but when you have someone like that you're blocking for, who's willing to put it on the line for you as a running back, you can do nothing but appreciate it.
When you have a player who, when you give him the ball, good things happen, the tendency, consciously or subconsciously, to keep doing that. On 3rd down and 8, he's going to throw over the middle, caught, Barber! And one of the themes is, in the big moments, he was the guy we gave the ball to.
When the Cowboys got the lead and they get into the 4th quarter, that's what they're going to do. They're going to feed him the ball.
Marion Barber, he'll take it to the 20, and Washington has to spend its final timeout.
10 yards to victory. What do you want us to do? Huh? What do you want us to do? Huh? What do you want us to do? We're going to throw it?
Hell no.
Okay. Let's go.
First down. Barber has carried the ball on every play. They come out in a shotgun.
For him, I think in those moments, he never got tired. which is crazy. Most backs might say, give me a breather real quick. But not Marion, though.
Animal. Because, see, Marion trained that way. It's certain running backs that run and they run off pure strength or how hard they work in off season. But it's a couple of running backs. Like Marion, they run with willpower.
They do. They've got a play that they want to run in this situation, and we're going to find out what it is.
4th down, Creighton in motion. They're going to pitch it right to Barber. A block from Colombo. First down as he gets to the 15-yard line.
Like you said, it's history in the making, man. It's in the books, and we get the W.
And Marion Barber and the Dallas Cowboys have just saved their season. Way to go, way to go!
Look, when you say, why did people love Marion Barber? That's a great example. He just literally took over, and he just said, come on, whatever you have, just bring it to me.
Let's go. Cowboys on 3. Let's go, MB. Here we go. Barber. 1, 2, 3.
Cowboys!
2009, he had a good season. Again, splitting some carries.
Romo's under center, and he hands the ball off to Barber. They had all 3 backs in there together. Shotgun on 2nd and 6. Romo points off to his right. Now the safety blitz, and Barber will run. Bounces out left. 35, 30. Stiff arm to the 20. MB3 inside the 10.
I think he pulled something, Brad, at the end of this run. He just went down like a shot. He's going into for a touchdown, and he comes up lame at the end of this run.
It looked like he blew a tire.
He battled a little quad injury, still was very productive. And then in 2010, more injuries occurred, and it was just hard for him to keep, running at that same pace.
He wasn't the same back. He was a different guy. His style kind of told you that it wasn't going to last a long time.
I think injuries took a toll. He wasn't quite running the way that he would normally run. Those things started to add up.
In 2011, it was the whole summer. It was an NFL lockout, and it just ended right before camp. And that's when the salary cap was in a unique situation, and the Cowboys had to cut some high-priced players, and Marion just happened to be one of them.
I think there were certain moves that the Cowboys made back then that you could see the writing on the wall that something was going to come, especially when they have guys ready to play.
It was tough, and it was just, again, everything he had given and what he had given to the game, being cut.
It messed me up when he left because I knew what he meant to everybody in the organization. But you could sort of tell, like, when he was in Chicago, you could see that he wasn't, his same, type of person, as in his joy wasn't the same because he loved being a Dallas Cowboy.
He just woke up and just didn't have the passion of football. And so, I'm still young. I'm still playing. And I'm like, how you just wake up and just don't love football no more?
I think he still had it in him, but I also think he may have lost the love for it. And I think he wanted to do or find something that he could love again like he loved football.
Giving up something you love and worked your whole life for, I know that probably hurt him the most.
That structure was gone. He loved structure. He had to figure it out. That's all he knew.
Life after football it's really hard. I think the best thing that you can do for someone that just got done playing is get them into something else right away. Because when you sit around, you ponder a lot.
It's a real challenge. And Marion was incredibly successful. He played 7 years. It felt like it went like that. But now, what am I going to do every morning when I wake up? And if you haven't prepared for that, it's daunting.
He still had a place in Dallas, but then he bought a home in Minnesota. And so he was in a place where he could do some things, and he was interested in trucking. He pursued that for a little while. That didn't go as the way he thought it would, and so he got out of that. And then he decided I'm going back to Dallas.
To me, he was the same person. And I know he probably needed help, and I wish that I could do more. You know what I'm saying? I wish he allowed me to do more. And I think his thing was he didn't want to put his burden on nobody, which is respectable, but it's like, we brothers.
A lot of time he rejected some help. He stood on his own 2 feet, and that's the type of man that he was, you know what I mean? And so you could tell like he was struggling with some things off the football field, trying to find his path and do things the right way.
And then all of a sudden, it was like he fell off the face of the map. No one could get in contact with him. He'll change his number, he'll call him, and then next day it's a new number.
You know, the ring around game, you know. I'll let you know, and then, so it's like, it was nothing I can do to try to get him to me or me getting to him. You know what I'm saying? Everything was gonna be on his time. And so I was trying to be patient, hoping that we had time to figure it out to where we can reconnect, and it just, you know, time ran out.
Breaking news, and it's sad news from the NFL.
Sources have confirmed to CBS 11's J.D. Miles that former Cowboys running back Marion Barber has been found dead inside a Frisco residence this afternoon.
The Cowboys confirmed earlier this evening that Marion Barber had died.
This was startling and stunning.
Barber was found dead inside his Frisco, Texas apartment on Wednesday.
No, there's gotta be a typo.
I didn't want to, I couldn't accept it. I couldn't believe it, you know. I struggle with explaining it because it's still a shock to me. I'm still crushed.
Broke down. I was about to hop on a plane to go recruit and just sat in the office and, you know, just broke down.
It's hard because a parent is never supposed to bury a child. I carry him. He's with me everywhere I go.
I never would imagine, you know, somebody this close to me dying this young and me having to deal with it. You know, I had to process their death, and so it was rough.
The thing that hit me the most in it was he was by himself.
I was sad that my dog died alone when he helped so many other people.
It's a tragedy when a life ends that young. It's really incumbent on us that we remember the things about that person that drew our attention, that we don't try to think about what were the circumstances around their death, but more importantly, to think about what were the things that made his life.
It's my dog's birthday, MB3, the Barbarian. So I brought him a couple of snacks, because all he do is eat candy and snacks, the 2000 snacks. This what we get my boy LB for his birthday today. All types of Twix, hot fries. Look at the muffins. The muffins, the 2000 snacks. Straight idiots we are, man. Straight idiots in the locker room, man. He got bottles in here locked up. LB3. He pop bottles with models. That's our boy. That's our boy. There he is. See? He's skittish. He runs out the building. He runs out the building. It's my dog. They run out of it. You popping bottles with models. He popped bottles. Happy birthday, big bro. Already. That's my dog. Hey, we did that because that's our boy. That's our boy. Yeah, that's off the hook now. That's cold-blooded. Boy, that thing different. You know what I'm saying? Boy, I love that Joker, man. That Joker. Seeing that'll mess me up, boy. I love that Joker there, man. Damn. I ain't even want to cry, buddy, but whoo. Give me a second, man. When you got people like that, them angels like that, didn't have much time. I didn't know MB was old in that picture, in that video. He ain't had much time to live. But our relationship, how we treated each other, how we went about our work, man, that thing make it meaningful. That's why it hurts so bad, because I wish I could see him again, man. Just to tell him thank you.
Yeah, you don't get to see him. That's always going to be the challenge. But I believe if we can live off who he was in life, I mean, to love what you do and do what you love. I can't say it makes it easier, but it helps me to smile when I don't necessarily feel like smiling.
Do what you love. Just that simple.
Do what you love and love what you do.
Love what you do what you love. Every single day, man.
Do what you love. What he always wanted to say.
That was his little thing he used to say to us every day.
Love what you do, baby. Love what you do, baby.
Do what you love.
Do what you love what you do. He was a man by that phrase.
It's some of the best advice you'll ever hear. And the older we get, trust me, the older we get, the more it makes sense.
It's just crazy, like at 39, I'm supposed to be here. And he don't supposed to be here either. Now I knew, we all know that one day this day was gonna come, but not this early. I like the Lion because he was definitely a king. He was definitely a king.
So yesterday we went to the graveyard and saw some cute little stones that were painted. Was that you guys?
Yeah. Well, we just made it like, you know how he was like a rock? Like, when it came to football, he just went right through. Like, that's why I made it. Yeah. I also made it because I love him and yeah.
I just try to find comfort in somewhere of all the good things and all the memories we had.
The guy loved his team, he loved his fans, and he appreciated everything that came with that. I hope people understand that, he had a huge heart.
The one thing that he wanted you to focus on is find something in the day to smile about. Whatever is happening to you in life, just find something to smile about.
A lot more now, a lot more. We're not done yet.
It was so beyond football. It was just the kind of person he was and how he positively impacted so many people's lives. And again, the spirit that he had was contagious. He made everybody's life around him better.
All the good things that he did and all the memories we had.
Thank you, Jesus!
All the camps that he did for free, gave the kids cook bags, and he could have nothing. His last died, and he gave it away.
Wise as the serpent, yet harmless as a dove.
You got to understand that some people God is going to call home before others. I really think Marion is a true saint, man. And to see him, to know that he's watching over me and looking over me now, man, it means everything to me. He has affected me into a way where I even got his obituary in my office till today. I see him every day.
Will be missed, has been missed, will always be missed. Wish I could have a conversation with him.
Just understand that he was more than just a football player to us. Someone who was just genuine and someone who just truly cared about his family.
I'll remember him through my kids because I'm gonna teach my kids his ways because I think, I would be selling them short if I didn't because of the impact he had on my life and continues to have on my life.
Whatever I can do to keep his legacy alive, keep his name alive, and just always to have people remember him in a good light.
Every time I see a Dallas Cowboy and I see that number 24, that Marion Barber to the day I die, I'm happy for him. Happy for him, he a better place. I'll see him one day, hopefully not too soon, but I see him again.
Marion was a car lover, and it was funny, we both had old schools. Well, he gets this idea that he has to get it to be able to go faster than mine. So he puts a boat engine in it. Didn't go well. Burnt the whole engine up and everything, stuff like that. So that was no longer that old school anymore. That's a Marion story.
And he was a guy that you didn't want to pay for because he want extra everything, extra meat, extra toast.
We play spades in the locker room, and he always had a saying, like when he was about to win the game, he would say, "Thank you, dice," and he slammed the cards down.
They have a thing when you're at the crap table, if the dice go off the table, you know, if you hit and they jump off and everything, he's like, same dice, same dice. Put them back, he'd be like, thank you, dice, thank you, dice. He lets them go one time, and they don't even touch the table. He goes, oh, those not gonna make it. You want the same dice? He's like, nope, 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 thank you, dice, you're gone.
Or I remember we would always play, football as kids in the house, and we'd use pickles as our mouthpieces.
Might as well get him out. Give me one more. God damn it.
And we used to bet for push-ups. I don't care where we at. We can be at a party. We can be in the club. We can be anywhere. When I say, let me get 2 push-ups.
Let me get one.